Hello, students. Today I'm going to be reading to you for an AR read aloud a story called Stone Soup that has been around for very many years, a lot of years, in different countries all over the world. And I just have to tell you, this book is one of my husband's favorite from when he was a child. So he was super excited to learn that I was going to be reading this aloud to you. So I hope it becomes one of your favorites too. It is very charming. It is called Stone Soup, and it's an old story, so it says retold by Heather Forrest, illustrated by Susan Gaber. And yes, Stone Soup. Bloop! There goes the stone. All right, let's get ready to read. There once was a comfortable little village nestled in the mountains. The people who lived there had more than enough to keep themselves content. One day, two travelers came along. Their coats were tattered, their hats were torn, their dusty shoes had holes in their soles. Hungry and tired, one traveler said to the other, "Surely someone here can spare a bit of food." They knocked boldly on a door. It creaked open, and a woman asked, "What do you want?" "Please," said one of the travelers, "we are hungry. Do you care? Will you share? Do you have any food?" The woman squinted her eyes and tartly replied, "No." She quickly slammed the door shut. The travelers walked a little further down the road and knocked on another door. A young boy answered. His chocolate brown eyes were sweet. "Good day," he said shyly. "What do you want?" "Please," said one of the travelers, "we are hungry. Do you care? Will you share? Do you have any food?" The boy replied, "There is no food here," and closed the door. The travelers wandered wearily through the village, knocking on every door. But everywhere they heard, "I don't care. I won't share. There is no food." They sat to rest beside a well. One traveler sighed and clutched his empty belly. He said, "If there is really no food in this elegant little village, then the people who live here are in greater need than we are. We should make them our magical soup." The two travelers climbed up on the edge of the well and shouted, "We are master cooks! If anyone in this town has a big black pot, we will make the most delicious soup anyone ever tasted." A door slowly opened. A round man emerged carrying a gigantic black pot. "I love to eat," he said. "Here's a pot. Let me see what two master cooks can do with it." "Watch and see," said one traveler with glee. The travelers filled the pot with cold water and built a fire. Soon the flames licked the sides of the pot and billows of steam rose into the air. Curious, people began to gather. "What is happening?" the townspeople asked. "We are making an unusual soup," said one of the travelers. "It requires a special magical ingredient. I am certain we will find it in this town." All the eyes in the crowd watched as one of the travelers reached down and picked up an ordinary stone. He tossed it into the pot with a splash. "We're making stone soup," he said. "It will be nutritious, delicious, incredible, and edible, but it would taste better." He paused and sighed. "If we only had a carrot." "Where would we find a carrot in this town?" the other traveler asked. "We knocked on every door, and everywhere we heard, 'I don't care. I won't share. There is no food.'" "Then perhaps we cannot make the delicious soup after all," they both announced with a sad shrug of their shoulders, and began to turn away. A child timidly raised her hand and said, "Wait, I might have a small carrot." "Excellent!" shouted the travelers. "Bring what you've got. Put it in the pot. We're making stone soup. This magical soup would taste even better if we had a potato," they added. A deep voice in the back of the crowd called out, "I have a potato." "Wonderful!" shouted the travelers. "Bring what you've got. Put it in the pot. We're making stone soup." "It would taste better still," they said, "if we had just a few more ingredients." "Perhaps," said one villager, "I could bring a green bean." "Well," said another, "if you are going to bring a green bean, I will bring a kernel of corn." "I shall not be outdone," cried another. "I will bring an egg noodle." One by one, voices announced, I will bring a slice of celery. I will bring a pinch of pepper. I can bring a sprig of parsley. I might have a tiny turnip. Well, why are you waiting? Cried the travelers. Bring what you've got. Put it in the pot. We're making stone soup. Everyone in the town ran home to bring one small thing to put in the pot. Food flew through the air and landed with splashes in the growing soup. Soon the huge pot was full and simmering. A wonderful smell drifted through the air. The smell was so tempting, people brought out bowls, spoons, chairs, and tables. They placed hearty loaves of bread, chunks of cheese, and bowls of fruit on the tablecloths. Everyone came to taste the soup and marveled at the flavor. "It's amazing," said one woman. "These two travelers made such a delicious soup out of a stone." "Out of a stone," said the travelers with a grin, "and a magical ingredient: sharing. Bring what you've got, put it in the pot. Every bit counts, from the largest to the least. Together we can celebrate a stone soup feast." Author's note: Stone soup is a popular European folktale that has been told and retold for centuries. In the French version, the travelers are cast as soldiers, and the townspeople are fearful of being generous because of the ravages of war. In Sweden, the story features a tramp who who teaches a stingy old woman generosity by using a nail to start a sumptuous nail broth. In the Russian version, an axe serves as the soup starter. Everywhere the tale is told, the plot ends with the optimistic realization that when each person makes a small contribution, the collective impact can be huge. This contemporary version of stone soup takes place in a village located anywhere that people learn about the pleasures of sharing. And the author included a very cute little recipe of how to make your own stone soup: one large stock pot, a group of friends, one stone the size of an egg, 2 quarts of water, 1 quart of tomato juice, several carrots, an onion, a couple of potatoes, a couple of stalks of celery, a cup of peas, a cup of corn kernels, a tomato, a bunch of green beans, small pieces of broccoli, small pieces of cauliflower, a quarter cup of uncooked pasta, a tablespoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of pepper, a loaf of bread, and sharing. Set a time and place when friends can gather to cook together. Each friend brings some vegetables to contribute to the soup. Have several adults on hand to help with the cutting and pouring. Pour the water and tomato juice into a large stock pot. Liquid should fill it halfway. Wash the stone thoroughly and add it to the soup, or not. Simmer the mixture on the stove until soup bubbles. Meanwhile, wash the vegetables and peel the carrots, onion, and potatoes. On a cutting board, carefully cut the vegetables into bite-sized pieces. Add the carrots, onion, potatoes, and celery to the pot and bring the soup back to a boil. Lower heat and simmer for 25 minutes or until vegetables are tender when pierced with a fork. Add all the other vegetables and cook for 15 minutes more, stirring occasionally. Add the pasta and cook for another 7 minutes or until noodles are done. Season the soup with salt and pepper. This recipe serves 10 to 12 adult-sized portions or 36 4-ounce cup samples. To serve more people, use a bigger pot and more of everything. For variety, use other vegetables of your choice. Add some crushed garlic during the last 10 minutes of cooking, or flavor the soup with a few pinches of dried spices such as dill, thyme, or parsley. While the soup is cooking, sing songs and tell stories. When the soup is done, break the bread so that everyone has a piece. Serve the soup and enjoy a feast. I really hope you enjoyed the AR read aloud today and a sample of one of my husband's favorite stories from when he was a child, because it is pretty charming, pretty fun. All right, so the quiz number is here on the bottom. It's worth half a point, and it's AR level 3.3. So you know if it gives you a difficult time on the password, just put in the word student, and that should override it. All right, guys, looking forward to see how you do on your AR test, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.